tell you the true inception of Q, provable with evidence. Here it comes. Let me get my shit straight. Here it comes. Let me chug this Red Bull. Go. Go. You must go. So we heard him say it. We've got him recorded. We have him recorded. Baruch telling Roy today about how he was following Q on poll, where there is no Q yet, until he starts signing off with Q Clearance Patriot. Well, ironically, why the fuck on November 3rd do we have Q Clearance Patriot being mentioned by Beanz? Doesn't seem like it's that weird, right? But you got to understand the timeline. It was like October 29th, October 30th, October 31st, November 1st. We're talking within just a few days of this thing happening, before anyone knew it was going to be big, before any trend had started, before anything had happened. And then, thanks to Tamra, we've got a DM from Tracy Beanz in my possession from November 2nd. Important. Have you been following the 4chan stuff I've been sharing in here? How did she know? There's only one reason anyone would even care. Why would they care? Like it's nothing. But the only person that was contacting anyone was Baruch the fucking Scribe. We're talking the first 4 days of the inception of QAnon, the very start. Well, we already have Baruch the Scribe admitting that he contacted Tracy Beanz to try to get the word out about Q Clearance Patriot. That's what he says. She admitted this. She said that. They've all admitted it. What this means is, at the very inception of Q, not a single trend, not a single reason, not anything at all, random motherfuckers off of 4chan contact a YouTuber and say, hello, you don't know us at all, and we don't have shit good to show you. We don't even have the predictions are done yet. All we have is a couple predictions from someone that's completely anonymous, and then a couple posts that say Q Clearance Patriot on it, but this is going to be the biggest thing ever. This is going to be the biggest thing ever. And it was the biggest thing ever. And they had foreknowledge that it would be the biggest thing ever. They knew before they should know. They contacted the YouTubers before they should have contacted the YouTubers. All of the fucking shit happened before it should have ever happened. That's almost like somebody telling you a month before JFK gets shot, JFK is going to get shot at this location at this specific time. Be ready for it. I'm not going to do it. It's over. It's done. That's it. And it's been there in front of our faces the whole time. But when you're digging through a literal haystack, the needle could be right in front of your face and you not see it. Because the needle was goddamn hay collared. I don't know. But NBC QAnon, also an independent investigation by NBC News, came to the conclusion right here. And now everyone's, not just my investigation from back in fucking March, not just my inclination back at the end of December and the beginning of January, even a complete independent investigation who's only talked to me and saw my paste bins. When they went in and did their own thing, I didn't mention Tracy Beanz in any of my paste bin links. I didn't give him any information on Tracy Beanz. But this whole article is about Beanz. There's like a couple questions still. This is before 4chan. This is before Baruch the Scribe. Oh my fucking God. Oh my fucking God. Ah! No, Busy. It's the other one. Oh, that's it, dude. You just wait till after this show. That's not funny. Baruch the Scribe told Beanz before he even created his 4chan board. Baruch contacted Beanz with Q before he created the 4chan board. Before they had the first board where he posted, he contacted Beanz. So it didn't matter. He is Q. Pamphlet is Q. The bakers are Q. Beanz was Q. Because when Q was posting on poll, not on Baruch's board, but on poll, Beanz did a video before the board was even made and people posted there. Baruch contacted Beanz and then made the board on 4chan. The first board. He contacted her before he made the first board. That's insane. This is on November fucking 2nd. The first Q drop ever was October 28th. We're talking within 4 fucking days. I thought it was like into November. That's why it was important to hide all the videos on Q. Because it wasn't because of any other reason, but to make sure that no one heard that she had absolute knowledge of what Q was before Q had even posted the shit. The first Q drops from October 28th and October 29th and 30th were nothing. But when they interviewed each other and talked about all this, as they went in, it was being created on the fly. This wasn't like after the fact, after people started flipping out about it, that these guys got involved, like, whoa, this is cool. They were involved with it before anyone even knew. They were involved at the very, very, very beginning. That blows every explanation that they've ever given completely out of the water. Listen, you can't say that someone's random postings on 4chan caught your fucking attention and that it also would become the biggest drops ever. That's what it says in the About section. The biggest fucking thing ever. But there was no information to make it the biggest thing ever yet. They hadn't even created their own board on 4chan. They hadn't even had Q come post there. Q came and posted on their board after they started contacting the YouTubers. Holy fucking shit, brah. I'm just thinking through everything real quick. That's what it was. That's what it is. They created the 4chan board after they'd already contacted the YouTubers, the original ones, Sather and Beanz. They didn't even have Q's posts. All they had was some unnamed, anonymous shit on fucking poll. How do you take some anonymous posts on poll and go tell the internet that it's the biggest drop of mankind? And then, now follow me, and then, like a week later, create a board on 4chan and have the big master leaker follow you. The random master leaker from poll decides, Baruch, the Scribe, Beanz are the ones I'm going to follow on 4chan and post under their board. They deceived the world. They pretended to be Q. Q was just a random dude from poll posting some shit. That's what like all this other crazy shit was just a big distraction that they all put out. All that other tertiary information, all that other outside information that was being thrown at us from all sides. When the most basic concept out of all of them completely proves it, and we've got the goddamn DMs to prove it. It's crazy. What they did is they went to poll, they found some good sounding posts and said, ooh, anonymous posts. They went and contacted YouTubers and said, we've got the biggest shit you're ever gonna fucking hear. The YouTubers said, okay, good, I'll make some videos on it. Then Baruch made the 4chan board. Q magically appeared on it. But if that was the case, the internet wouldn't have bit. No one on YouTube would have gave a fuck. Why did the people on YouTube give a fuck? Why did they give a fuck? In the beginning, I look, when I started looking at the shit, and I saw Beanz made a video, Defang Bro made a video, and then I made a video. It's possible somebody made a video in between me and Defang Bro, but that's when I made my first video on it. Okay? I was sitting in a live stream chilling. Somebody popped in and said, bro, have you seen that Q shit? And I'm like, Q shit? And they're like, yeah, man, go watch Defango's video. Go look at Bean's video. And I'm like, okay. And I was like, what the fuck is this shit? So I was like, okay, I'm just going to make a quick video because, like, this is goddamn crazy. So I did. And I started getting views rolling in. And I was just sitting there like, what is this shit? Like, literally, I was just sitting there like, what is all this shit? This is crazy. You know me. You know what I would have sounded like back then. I was just, me and Busy are just sitting there like, Busy was not the baker back then. Busy became the baker in January after I stood up to the bakers. Busy was a little fucking frog, a dancing frog back then. He was a robot at one time, too. There he was. That's what he used to look like. That's where we got that animation from recording Busy doing his dance. He's actually doing it right now in his bread form. Will you stop dancing? It distracts me. They fucking made it into a big deal, so they had to fill in the blanks. But here's the deal. They needed more to have happen. That's why the MAGA guys, they really do know what they're talking about. They enlisted Medic. They enlisted Sather. They enlisted these people not by fooling them, by telling them. They've known the whole time. That's why they're so fucking like hardcore into it. Did you see Sather on Comedy Central? This motherfucker is willing to lie straight to everyone's face on national television because he wants to perpetuate this Q myth so bad. There's only one reason people do that. There's only one reason logical people do that. And yes, I do believe Sather's logical because he was told about it. He's in on it. The ones that are in on it will never let it go. Just Informed Talk, Praying fucking Medic, Citizens Investigative Report, and fucking Sather. Sather's the first, though. Sather and Medic are the first. Okay? Now, above Sather and Medic, they start doing videos literally like way too early on all this shit because they would have never touched this shit. Never, ever, ever, ever would have touched. They did the videos also before it even got popular too. They didn't do videos like me. They didn't go around looking for strange things on the internet to make videos about like I do, okay? They go up there and talk about God. Praying Medic talks about astral projection, but not astral projection. It's some other type of projection that has nothing to do with astral projection that the Bible doesn't care if you do, which, by the way, is a big scam, but still, that's what Medic did. And Sather was doing secret space program and dick pill videos. I'm not fucking lying. Go look. Well, you could have until he deleted his channel like a week ago. He deleted his original channel. But anyway, this is the point I'm trying to make. They had foreknowledge that this was going to blow up. How did they know it was going to blow up? Because of what the analytics says, the data, that they were using bots. What happened is that Ferber and Pamphlet and probably a couple of the people that MNN named, those guys that use bots to make their presence on Periscope and Twitter look really good, you know, including the guy, you know, he who has no name, remember him? Those guys helped them through unscrupulous techniques using bots to pump the fucking, goddamn it, everything's meant to be. What was the name of that shit that I found earlier today? Remember it? It was social something. Remember that shit? Social something. Remember when I read that shit at the very beginning of the video? It was social something. Anyone remember what it was? Social proof. They used the concept of social proof and said, the YouTubers said, look, this is going to be the biggest thing since sliced bread. They knew that before it became the biggest thing since sliced fucking bread. The ones that were initially in on it. So yes, they were in on it. That's my crazy realization right now, that they were all in on it. Because up to now, I've been being super nice to them, saying, I don't think that they were in on it. I think it was just Baruch and Pamphlet and a few other people. No, the YouTubers were in on it. We just proved it. That's why I'm flipping out. Exactly, Robert. Yes. Well, Hillary, that happened a couple years ago, though. What, you're telling me she's doing that right now? No, that was like 2 years ago. Yeah, you're right. Miss J says she refuses to this day to tell her followers on her channel that Q is fake. That is very telling. It is. So is Sather not willing to say. You know how fucking many hairs I've ripped out of my beard live, pissed off because I sent Beanz, Sather, and the other Q-tubers, the original Q-tubers, how many times I sent them evidence showing that Q is fake, but they just put me down and called me names and fucking attacked me with their goddamn troll army. Do you know how many times? Because I could probably count 300, okay? The only one that didn't attack me and the only one that listened to my evidence was Isaac Green, because he was the only one that wasn't in on it. And Roy Potter. But Roy realized it long ago because he was in, the government, in the military for a really long time, a lieutenant colonel. So he already had a mind for everything and said, this is not right. This goddamn Q dude doesn't even know what fucking DEF CON is. And he realized it back then. The reason why no one else realized it back then is because they are not really studying the government, guys, or they would know this stuff. But in all reality, they may study the government, but the real reason they won't come out and tell you is because they're fucking in on it. We've got hardcore saved picture communication of the YouTubers being contacted before they even made the first Q board. That is damning shit right there. Because Q didn't even become a real thing until the Q board was made on 4chan. That's when this thing solidified. It was just like an internet rumor. It was like an internet mystery. It was like the fucking Sasquatch of the internet until they made the first Q board. Because when they made the board, the Storm or CBTS on 4chan, that's when Q started posting there and this big thing blew up. The fact that these YouTubers, the reason that I always said the YouTubers aren't in on it, they were just used by them. The reason I've said that this whole time is because I thought that these guys built the trend on 4chan and contacted the YouTubers to help propel the trend. These guys were contacted and helped them, communicated with them, interviewed them, talked to them, and made them a thing. Literally, they made them a thing. They would not be a thing without those YouTubers. They'd still be on 4chan and no one would know who they were. That's the fucking thing here. I was wrong on one account. I didn't know that the YouTubers were sitting here talking to Baruch and them. I had no clue they were talking to Baruch and them before Baruch even built his board. Baruch was not anyone then. Baruch wasn't known in QAnon or anything like that. How ironic that it's not ironic. It's goddamn foreknowledge. This was planned. This was created by YouTubers. It wasn't some crazy assholes on fucking 4chan. Holy shit, brah. I need 2 seconds, please. I'm sorry. What came first, the Q or the baker? We just found out today that the baker came before the Q. Jesus, Criminelli, man. Thanks, guys. Holy shit. Dead says, those who are able to see beyond the shadows and lies of their culture will never be understood, let alone believed by the masses. Plato. Great quote. Truth says, Fango and TS were the ones posting on the poll board. Then the YouTubers so came up with the Q scam, and the rest is history. That's why DeFango and TS joked about them starting it, said Truth Seeker. So Cicada fooled the bakers, had some good info. Bakers got greedy, ran further than Cicada ever could, but they trademarked Q. Too many scenarios running through my brain. So here's what happened. Look, you gotta leave out the whole Cicada thing until we have proof of it. I'm not stating that the Cicada didn't start it. I'm just stating all we know is that someone posted on poll. Now, could have been Cicada, could have been Thomas, could have been DeFango, could have been Baruch. We don't know who yet. Now, I know this. If I would have been posted on poll and fucking they would have, taken it to another board, the first thing I would have did was goddamn screenshot some shit and prove it and save some shit. Now, here's the deal. Whoever the fuck was doing it probably has some proof of it. And I've been asking for them to bring it to me for a long time and they haven't. All I know is we have to take our origin of facts and go from there. We can't go before the facts because that will make us loose in our story. Okay, that will make us, assuming. That will make us not factual. We now have factual evidence. Factual, real, provable. In this video, this shows it. There's no way to sit and talk to people in the DMs about this massive thing that before it even became a thing. Sure, you could argue, but it was on poll. It was a thing on poll. Look, poll is an endless posting of stuff from hundreds of thousands of anonymous people, okay? No one fucking can just go into poll and just point at a random post and say, that one's gonna be big. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't happen. People could guess. People could, think it. That doesn't happen. And then to say, that thing I just pointed at is going to be a huge trend and fool a massive bunch of people, that doesn't happen either. They made it fool a bunch of people. They made this happen. It was a plan, a plot, a thing from the start, and we proved it today. Because they were in the DMs discussing it, and we have one of their DMs from before they should know anything that they're saying they know. That's the thing. That's the red flag. That's the crazy here. Now, Baruch is the one. He's the one who was following this, that made the board that Q went to. This is the thing. They took what they saw on poll, made their own board on 4chan. Before they even made the board on 4chan, got some YouTubers involved and said, look, what we're going to do is we found this awesome fucking thought process on poll. What we're going to do is go to fucking make our own board here in a few days. We want you guys to go do some videos about this thought process on poll. Here it is. Here's the post. Let me hand them to you. Go do that to start the hype. Then we're going to make the board, and then everyone's going to be shocked when the guy from poll follows us to our board and proves that he's a government leaker. Then your channels are going to explode. We're going to get a bunch of traffic and everyone will be happy. Let's do it. And they were all like, high five, Captain Planet, rings unite, Voltron go. You see what I'm saying? And then I could go forward, but you already know what happened. Ferber gets chased off of 4chan. He gets chased off his original board, makes another board on 4chan, gets chased off of that board, goes to 8chan. Qanon follows him everywhere he goes. He's followed him to 8 different boards before Pamphlet came in, dressed up like a fucking Trojan horse clown and said, hey, Paul, distract you look over here for a minute. Steal trip code, make new board, lock out Paul Ferber, enter. At this point, Sept 1 got over 200,000 views, and I'm too conceited to hide that one. Luckily, because that's what actually cemented this to being a fact. Thank God. The point is, before Ferber even had time to create his own board, the YouTubers and the fucking bakers were already scheming to do this. That's the thing we just found. We found before we thought that the bakers were scheming before this without them, hooked them in to start the trend. No, the trend was started before they even made their 4chan board. That's what we just showed you. And that's damning, because you don't go around on YouTube saying that this is going to be the biggest thing fucking since sliced bread. Off of, there's so many posts on 4chan, no one can know that unless they were part of the plan, part of the plot to... Okay? It's not that hard of a concept. I know you guys get me, but I'm just making sure I say it properly. Because I know a lot of people are going to go try to take my words today and like warp them out and say that I did this and this and this and say that I'm saying that like fucking Beanz is Q or something, which I'm not. What I'm saying is that those YouTubers were helping make Q turn into Q before Q was even a Q. Truthfully, y'all.